intro on this one. No absolute intro. I'm going to just go straight to the point here. Listen, we already saw the headlines, everybody saw the news, and yeah, it was blatantly obvious. The game is officially dead. The studio has officially shut down. I'm going to come at this from... I'm going to address specific parties on this, and it's going to ultimately lead to my belief that this disaster, this $250 million to near $400 million disaster, if you believe the rumors, will be a lesson that nobody will learn. And yes, this is a recorded video. There will not be any... There won't be any, like, sources. There won't be any, like, articles we're just going to read. This is just going to be a blatant, just my opinions, my thoughts, and my address to pretty much the parties involved in this. So, where I'm actually going to start off with is the developers. The concept artists, the testers, the professors of the world of the Firewalk Studios here. Now, first thing first, it's a shame that the studio had to close down. I legitimately mean that. It's a shame that the studio did have to close down, and I hope everyone's able to get back on their feet, and I mean everyone, regardless of who you are, regardless of how much you have basically screwed the pooch with your own kind of status and reputation, especially on social media. I do hope that everyone's able to find a way to bounce back from this. However, from a developer standpoint, I do not think this will be a lesson learned, because when the first initial trailer came out, when the first when the first initial trailer came out, when the first initial review came out, the downvotes, the dislikes, the reactions were mostly negative. When the first playtest came out, when the first open beta came out, the reactions were negative. Barely anybody. It didn't amass enough people it didn't amass enough an audience, basically. And what did the developers do? Instead of taking any form of feedback, criticism, listening to the players, listen to the audience that you are trying to appeal to, that you're trying to market to, what did you guys do instead? Y'all doubled down. You doubled down to the point where you attacked the customers, the people that you're trying to market your game towards. Oh, we didn't forget. We didn't forget that the hidden comments made by, say, a senior concept artist saying that, oh yeah, these weirdos, if I'm quoting correctly, these weirdos won't have anything to actually buy or play. If I got that right. Let me know in the comments. Well, that was only one thing. We also heard about, this was made with a labor of love. That, we put a lot of heart and soul and passion into this. That there was a lot of people who cared about this and such like that. And that you were going to disregard any form of criticism as quote-unquote white noise. You called us every single name in the book, every buzzword, racist, sexist, bigot, transphobe, isophobe, whatever. Including the now infamous talentless freaks. I guess the talentless freaks were, those talentless freaks that you referred to were your customers, were your audience, were people who did want to see this game succeed. You ever think about that? Yes, there was a majority of us who probably would want to see this game fail and be a crash and burn, but let's be honest here. Some of that feedback was to see that to show that there was legitimate potential there. Legit potential there. That you guys could bounce back from this. You guys did not take any form of feedback, any form of criticism to heart whatsoever to improve. And now look at where you are. So some of this blame has to lay squarely on you, because when you, in the first part of your mouth, you want to say that this is a labor of love, but then when everything hits the fan, you want to go ahead and blame the higher ups for it. We're not going to buy that. We're not going to play that game. You're not going to play that. We're not going to play this blame game of musical chairs going around. Everyone involved has to take the blame for this. Everyone. Especially when it was revealed that there clearly is a toxic work environment going on at Firewalk Studios. When your quote-unquote professor has to go around and have everyone address her as the quote-unquote professor, that's a problem. When you run your mouth on social media sites such as Twitter and Blue Sky, and then when you get pushback, you decide to run tail, hide, and private your account. That's a problem. When you make remarks about your customers, make remarks about people you're supposed to market your product to, and then you turn around and play victim once ish hits the fan, that's a problem. And it cites a video that I was doing last time about this, a previous video, on the whole toxic positivity. What went down at Firewalk Studios is a shining example of that. And I'm going to add one bigger element to that as well. The character designs. When you have an art trend going where you have every single person under the sun, multiple YouTube videos, multiple postings on social media, redesigning all of your cast in a hero shooter, that's a problem. Understand that I can understand passion. I can understand labor of love. I can understand putting your heart and soul into this. But also understand that this is a product. This is a product that it is meant to market to the general audience. Market to the customers. Market to the players. When you're doing a hero shooter, you need to at least have a cast that is not only diverse, but a cast that can appeal to every playstyle, appeal to every type. We can go day and night about the whole attractiveness of the characters, but from a general design standpoint, it is bad. Like I said in the Dragon Age video, if your entire design concept, if your entire motive for your character designs are, we need to tick every single checkbox imaginable. It has to be this skin color. It has to be this gender. It has to be all of these different checkboxes. It has to be a Burger King Kids Club of diversity. When you use DI as your only guide for character design, you're doing it wrong. It is going to lead to results like this. Yes, the developers, you do need to take some of the blame for this. Because you didn't address the criticism. You shrugged off the criticism as white noise. You attacked the audience that you're trying to market towards, and you didn't read the room. Your arrogance led you to this. So I really hope that your next gig, and I mean this when I say this, I sincerely mean that I hope everyone involved bounce back from this and goes to their next gig. I really hope you, or at least take a moment to reflect. Take a moment to just, hey, let's take a moment and learn from this, learn from these mistakes, and let's improve in our next opportunity. But you know what? That's gonna fall on deaf ears. That is totally gonna fall on deaf ears. But there's plenty of blame to go around. The next blame that I'm going to be aiming square at is the publishers. Sony. The comments from, Herman Holst putting so much support backing and stating that this is going to be the next Star Wars. This is going to be their Star Wars. Really. This cheap-ass Guardians of the Galaxy knockoff with the biggest Burger King Kids Club. And I don't put that lightly. The biggest Burger King Kids Club of characters that we've seen in a video game, or let alone in a hero shooter, is supposed to be your next Star Wars. That this was going to be an IP that could do no wrong. You guys didn't read the room either. And the fact that, it took 4 to 8 years, maybe, I would say 4 to 8 years, if you believe some of the rumors, and $250 to $400 million. I think there's an answer right in between that range. It took you this long in this amount of budget, especially considering the Insomniac leaks last year, where we've had where you found out that one of the biggest Insomniac games cost $300 million. And you still couldn't recuperate all of it. The way I see it is that Sony, you decided to write a check that your big, green, blue-lipped, nose-piercing ass couldn't cash. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Amari. I would say this is arrogance on Sony's end, but I want to call it. I would almost say this is tone deaf. Do you really think that going this route of a multiplayer-focused hero shooter with episodic backstories that would dive further into the stories of each of the characters and such like that? And this is going at the marketing material as well. The marketing team behind this as well. You have to take some of the blame for it, because every single trailer was ratioed. Even the little shorts and vignettes were ratioed. It is a problem when even the animated shorts have a better looking art style, have a better looking graphical style than what is in game. I'm going to chalk this as tone deafness because you have your head up your ass. Sorry. Because you didn't because you didn't read the room. Because everyone, when the open beta dropped, when you had your little public and private beta, you decided that you decided to go ahead and just release it. Instead of pull back and say, okay, this is messy. This is a problem. If we're not able to amass enough of a player count on Steam, then that is a problem. That is a very big problem. When the feedback, when the reception is this negative, we need to pull this game back and not release it publicly yet. Let's change our business strategy. Let's change our decisions. Let's make a viable product. This probably needed some more time to be cooked in the kitchen, or in this case, this needed to be thrown straight back to the drawing board. The fact that you would release this hero shooter at $40, thinking that you could garner that same success that we saw with Overwatch back in 2016 when it was released full price at $60, that's just being tone deaf. That's just being stupid. That's just being blinded. So yes, Sony, you have to take some of this blame as well. And you know what? I'm gonna be fair. Because this is a completely new IP, and I will continue to give you praise for that. That this is a continuous new IP. This is a new IP. That brand new. You guys gave a chance. You guys gave a new IP a chance, but y'all should have read the room. So let's go. Let's start. Let's address the third person. The third party that's to take from some blame for this, which we can say the marketing, but also the media. Throughout the development cycle of this game, we have seen the media come to bat, step up to bat, and not even address any form of criticism for this game. It was clearly that the media, the mainstream media, the gaming journalist outlets were in cahoots with Sony and Firewalk Studios. Because we saw those articles too. We saw the media attack us as well for not liking this. Not only did we see the media attacking us, but we even saw some of the quote-unquote shills as well. Discarding any valid criticism that the customers, the players, the people who actually were a part of the playtest in the open beta, in the closed beta, in the live release had. This is a black eye on everyone. This is a black eye. Into the media, into the, the Kotakus of the world, the IG. Wait, hold on a second. When one of the biggest failures exposes everyone, and I will believe this, everyone, to a certain gaming outlet who gave 7 out of 10s like it's like we're on the set of Oprah. You get a 7 out of 10. You get a 7 out of 10. You get a 7 out of 10. Everyone gets a 7 out of 10. When every single review didn't have when these mainstream reviews didn't have the absolute backbone to actually address the elephant in the room on what is wrong with this game, that's a problem. And believe me, they're up to their hooves again with another title. This one by a renowned studio. It's the same song and dance over and over again. If it sounds like I'm rambling, it's probably because I am. However, the fact that any credibility of this particular media outlet was completely gone when this particular game gets a 7, and yet another particular game, a game that the same game that your own division tried to smear, and that's what I'm gonna call smear, gets the same score as the media darling, the hero, the next Overwatch, the next Star Wars. Yeah, I'm talking about Stellar Blade. I'm also talking about Black Myth Wukong, a game that you also attempted to smear, and you had to come to your senses and realize that this is a much superior game than the multiplayer hero shooter that you were desperate to promote, that you were desperate to virtue signal for. This year has been nothing but the journalists, the mainstream media outlets versus the gamers. Nothing but attacks. And also the developers as well. Also the publishers as well. Because we just hate gamers this year, don't we? We just hate every single facet of gamers, don't we? We're just gonna tar and feather every single gamer this year, throughout this year, huh? But hey, you know, it is what it is. But because we can look back and tell, I can happily tell a certain consultancy firm that is been in the headlines for throughout most of this year that, hey, this is one look at it this way, Kim Belair. This is one disaster that you didn't have your grubby little hands on. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that one of the biggest pieces of crap that came out this year, and the one that just disappeared like a fart in the wind, did not have the stink of those sweet babies? What do you know? What do you know? Huh. Well, now I got one last point I want to direct. I want to turn my attention to one last point about this whole disaster, and my direction is going to be pointed towards the critics, the content creators, the regular Joe Schmoes, the rest of y'all. I hope by now you guys understand. At this point, this is a lesson that the first three parties that I mentioned will not learn from. And to that I say, thank you. I have been watching so many people throughout this life cycle of this game. I have watched so many videos, I've read so many articles, I have kept up with every single facet of this game, and it was thanks to absolutely amazing content creators, absolutely amazing personalities, absolutely amazing regular people who saw the ish that was going on. To that I say thank you. Because you did actual more journalistic work than the people who were supposed to be journalists. And you could come at me with that. I want to thank you guys personally, because you guys helped me get the confidence to speak up about this as well. And now everybody, and I mean everyone, is dancing on them. Everybody's dancing on them now. Everybody's dancing on the graves now. However, this will not be a lesson learned. In general, this entire situation, this entire disaster will not be a lesson learned on anyone's parts. So you know what? I welcome it. I welcome it. Continue to provide more games like this. Continue to cause more disasters like this. Because at some point, you're going to have to take that lesson whether you like it or not. At some point, reality is going to hit real hard. And you're going to have to understand that going after your fan base, putting so much time and so much money behind a game that was destined to fail from concept. It was gonna happen. All it was delaying the inevitable. That's all we saw. You're just delaying the inevitable. For a game that spent nearly 4 to 8 years on, with $250 to near $400 million. All that labor, all that passion, all of that fire, all of that. This is the game I want to make. Well, your little labor of love can barely last 2 weeks. And it's a clear case that you guys can't live with your own failures. So where does that lead you to? Back to us. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments section. I would love to hear from you guys. Let's get a discussion going about this. Massive thank you to everyone in the Cute, Sexy, and Fun Nation. You guys are truly amazing. And you guys are not all talentless freaks. You guys are none of that. Don't listen to these. Don't listen to them, okay? If you guys want to join and get access to exclusive art drops that I got cooking up next month, join the CSF Nation for as low as $1 a month. We appreciate all of you here, and thank you all for watching. I'm Mach90 Art Journal and Illustrator, and we'll see you next time for another video. So until then, stay cute, stay sexy, have fun, take care, much love, never apologize for wanting attractive women, especially in your media, especially in your video games, because from what we saw with that disaster, they did not want attractiveness whatsoever. Like I said, if you're basing your characters on pure ideological reasons, you're doing it wrong. And above all else, never stop drawing. Oh yeah, and by the way, a moment of silence for the absolute disaster that I will say one last time. Concord.